When I look back now, it feels like a scene from an old movie. There I was, dressed in my floral apron, darting between the kitchen and the living room, making sure the rice didn't burn and the coffee stayed warm. My husband, Antonio, arrived from work at the same time every day, dropping his lunchbox in the sink, kicking off his shoes by the door, and planting an absent-minded kiss on my forehead. The kind of automatic gesture we learned to call affection. I truly believed my life was perfect. I had a husband, children, a modest but cozy home, and faith, so much faith that I was exactly where I was meant to be. If you're curious about how everything unfolded, subscribe to my channel now and leave a comment telling me where you're listening from. I love knowing where you all are, and trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. The truth I'm about to share will shake you in ways you can't imagine. My name is Helena, and this is my story. The illusion of perfection. I woke up early, every morning brewed coffee, packed the kids' lunches, scrubbed clothes by hand, and still found time to fold Antonio's shirts just the way he liked them. If he came home late, I told myself, it must be traffic. If he smelled different, I convinced myself it was a coworker's perfume. When a woman loves, she becomes an expert at self-deception. I'd whisper to the mirror, and I did love him so much that I forgot myself. My dreams, my desires, my talents all locked away in a drawer I never reopened after saying I do. I stopped studying, stopped seeing friends, stopped making time for myself. My time belonged to him, to the house, to the children, and I did it all willingly, believing this was what it meant to be a real wife. The neighbors praised me. Helena, you're the perfect woman. I'd smile and thank them, but deep down, a quiet emptiness gnawed at me like I'd misplaced a part of myself somewhere in that house. But then Antonio would flash me that lopsided grin, and I'd push the feeling aside. It's just exhaustion, I'd think. Marriage is like this. Until the day everything changed. Not slowly, not gently, like a slap. A truth so sharp it cut through my carefully constructed routine. And from that moment on, my story took a turn, not because I wanted it to, but because pain taught me that even the most devoted love must be reciprocated. And mine was being thrown away. The cracks in the facade. I remembered the exact day the air began to smell different, and I don't just mean the scent of perfume. It was the stench of lies, a discomfort that started as a pinprick but grew into an invisible splinter lodged deep in my chest. Antonio began coming home later. First, it was meetings at work, then it was helping a sick friend, a certain Sergio I'd never even met, and every time he said that name, his eyes darted away just for a second. But I noticed women see things even when they pretend not to. One evening, he arrived with his shirt wrinkled, his collar crooked, and a sickly sweet fragrance clinging to him, one I'd never worn, one that had never stained our pillows. That scent lingered in my memory like a silent slap. But you know what I did? I cooked dinner, I served his plate with a smile. I sat beside him and talked about the kids' report cards, and he ate my rice and beans seasoned with love and tears as if nothing were wrong. The truth unfolds the next day. I started paying attention. His excuses, his schedule, the way he suddenly cared about his appearance running in the park, something he'd never done, trimming his beard with precision, spritzing on cologne like a teenager. When I mentioned he seemed different, he snapped. You're just insecure. You should trust me. He twisted the blame onto me, and I believed him because when you love someone, you'd rather be blind than see the truth. But the discomfort festered until I couldn't take it anymore. One afternoon, I picked up the phone and called his workplace, just to ease my mind. A polite woman answered. He doesn't work here anymore. He was let go 2 months ago. The floor vanished beneath me. My hands shook. My pulse roared in my ears. 2 months. 2 months of lies. Straight to my face. It felt like being sucker-punched by an invisible fist. And yet, even then, a pathetic little voice inside me scrambled for excuses. Maybe he didn't want to worry you. Maybe he was waiting to fix things. But in that moment, something inside me shifted. A lock clicked open. I finally saw what I could no longer deny. The breaking point. I needed proof of what my heart already knew, so I watched. I noticed he always left in a hurry on Mondays and Thursdays, always dressed sharper on those days, and one evening, I followed him. I grabbed my youngest son's rusty bicycle and pedaled slowly, my soul burning. He walked carelessly, turning down an unfamiliar street before slipping through a pale blue gate into a tidy little house, too well kept to belong to just a friend. I waited, then crept closer, through a half-open window. I saw them. She was young, long hair, tied in a ponytail, laughing loudly at his jokes in a way I hadn't laughed in years. They sat at the table, drinking wine like some romantic couple from a telenovela. Then he stood, kissed her forehead, and whispered something I couldn't hear, but it hurt as if he'd said it directly into my ear. I returned home numb. No tears, no screams. Just me, sitting on the bed, staring at the ceiling as pain too vast for my body threatened to split me open. But in that crushing silence, a tiny spark flickered to life. Not revenge. Not yet. Just a quiet, stubborn thought. I'm still here. And that night, I realized maybe my story was only just beginning.